Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I am riding this, which happens to be the Royal Enfield Bullet Trials Works Replica. I know it's a long name. This is the 500, which gets this different kind of color scheme, green color. The 350 gets the red one. And in terms of appearance, I mean, it is a bullet underneath, but with minor changes. Now this headlight guard is of course not part of standard equipment, because this motorcycle has a lot of accessories, like of course the headlight guard, halogen light, and this is AHO, that's why it's turned on right now, and there is complete halogen on this motorcycle. You can see fork gaiters look nice, and of course the spoke wheels are also very nice on this motorcycle. Now there's a difference. It gets dual purpose tires, and these are from C8. Front we get 90 90 19, and at the rear we get an 18-incher, which happens to be 110. Of course, it gets an upswept exhaust, sort of a scrambler look. Here it says Bullet Trials Works Replica, since 1901, made like a gun. This actually opens, you can keep stuff here, not much big as such, but of course the frame is exposed. Mechanically it is not very different, but the paint scheme is slightly different, and of course Royal Enfield written here. And yeah, the seat is sort of thinner now, and it gets this nice stitching as well. Okay, you can mount your luggage here probably, and of course the light is also halogen, so the upswept exhaust actually makes it very striking in terms of appearance. And over here, this is also optional, or rather it's an accessory, this number thing, which happens to be 48. And yeah, it gets dual channel ABS. ABS is there on this motorcycle. It cannot be turned off, which by the way isn't that good, because off-roading you would want to turn off ABS. Meanwhile, the handlebar is slightly raised, it's slightly thinner, slightly lighter. This is of course aftermarket as well, rather it's an accessory. The cluster remains more or less the same. Actually it's the same as before. You get a speedometer along with an odometer, and the amp meter has been replaced by a low fuel indicator, and the ABS light is also placed there. Meanwhile, switchgear is standard affair. Is the engine kill switch, and this is for high beam, low beam. This is for the indicator, and this is the horn, which is actually quite nice and loud. And the overall quality is a decent. This says not for highways. Okay, the headlight guard, it is not for highways. So overall, yes, this motorcycle does look very striking. It actually goes back into history because, well, let's talk about that while riding. Let's go. So right now on this particular motorcycle, of course the mirrors have been removed, because yeah, the bikes fall a lot of times when you take it off-road. Stand back, motorcycle is on. Pegs are front set, really very front set pegs. Alright, here we go. Yeah, the pegs are really front set on this motorcycle, which is a kind of an issue, because when you're going off-roading, it's not very comfortable, you know, front side peg, like real front side pegs actually. But in terms of performance, there's good amount of punch on offer, because this 499cc motor produces 27.2 horsepower, and oh god. Okay, the brakes actually work well. ABS works well on this machine. So yes, 27.2 horsepower and 41.3 newton meters of torque. Good amount of punch, and the ride quality is very good. I mean, the classics ride quality, or the Bullet's ride quality, has always been good. Look at the road ahead, alright? And I mean, it is just so freaking compliant, because they have actually improved the travel on the suspension, they have improved the damping, and although mechanically this is more or less the same as the standard Bullet, it just feels so much better to ride. Yes, there are vibes which can be felt on the pegs as well as the handlebar, and of course on the seat too. However, overall performance is quite good, I would say, and certainly this motorcycle is a lot of fun to ride, because the adjustment to the steering, or rather the handlebar, has just made it so much better now, because it's just more nimble. I mean, it's easier to flick this motorcycle somehow, and that makes it a lot more fun. Obviously off-road it's great, not as good as the Himalayan though, but on the road too, I mean, it is absolutely sensational for a Royal Enfield Bullet. Comparatively, when you compare it to the older Bullet, you would say, yeah, this is much more rideable, much more fun. Okay, the road is bad, no problem, just glide and go, because of the great ride quality running into the red line. So motor doesn't have much revs as such, obviously, because the power is made in such a way that it's mostly lower down. Yeah, mid-range is strong, so low down power is great. Mid-range is also very strong, and this motorcycle is really enjoyable somehow, as long as you don't think about, you know, pulling it into the top end, because it's not about top end power, it's all about the grunt mid-range. Alright, there's a speed breaker. Brakes feel a little hard, but they do the job well. In fact, they do it so well that I am actually going ahead ahead every time I apply hard on the brakes. Okay, this is a speed breaker, no problem, can just go through it. Okay, stand up and go. That is the level of ride quality on this motorcycle. Okay, I see a bump, I want to go through it because I know the motorcycle performs so brilliantly well over there. The exhaust note is really nice, you get the thump. So why would they make a Bullet 500 or any Bullet rather 350 and 500 trials when they already have the Himalayan, which is a fab motorcycle off-road? Well, the logic is pretty simple actually. Back in the days, someone entered the trials competition with the Bullet, and the Bullet performed exceptionally well, won a lot of awards as well, and then Royal Enfield thought, why not go back into history and launch this? And of course it's a more attractive package compared to the standard Bullet, because obviously it feels so much nimble. I mean, around the corners it's heavy, it weighs around 200 kgs, but hey, no problem, look at me, I can so comfortably maneuver it around the corners as well, because it just gives so much more feedback through the handlebar right now. Yeah, the motor is the same as before, which if you like the thumb, you would love it certainly, because there is so much sound which is like, okay, thumpy bass, thumpy bass, thumpy bass, and that bass is really nice for people who want to make a lot of noise in the right way. It's not something you have to go in the top end to, you know, make other people hear. You just get into the mid-range and there it pulls strongly, 80 kilometers per hour, no problem. Speed breakers are a cakewalk nowadays thanks to the better suspension on this motorcycle. And as you can see, the handlebar changes have really worked well on this machine. Brakes are strong. Okay, ABS works really well. Gearbox could have been slightly smoother shifting. The clutch is not the lightest around, but hey, as soon as you get onto the throttle, mid-range greets you with good amount of punch, and you hit the red line pretty quickly somehow. And once you hit the red line, you're like, oh god, I have already hit the red line. So this is not a motorcycle you can open the throttle completely and be like, okay, let's see where it goes. Yes, now we are in top gear and performance is nice. Tires offer decent grip because they are dual purpose tires, so they work well on the road, they work well off the road. They don't excel in either of the situations because they're not made for just one duty. And pulling it in higher gear, well, that's the beauty of this motor. All right, there is the thumb grunt and it just pulls smoothly. Alright, now of course you guys would want to see how it performs off the road as well. So there is 19° north, and let's get inside right away into first gear, and here we are. Alright, just see, the ride is so freaking brilliant. Alright, it inspires good amount of confidence over stones as well. There's a lot of stones and I am doing 30 kilometers per hour, no stress at all. There's good amount of feedback. Okay, movement is a lot. I'm moving all over the place, and that is all but expected because yes, I mean, it does move around. Plus the engine is also, yeah, a little bit on the vibratory side, not a little bit, quite a bit on the vibratory side coming through this corner. Grip levels are good. Alright, every time I get onto the throttle, I realize that is just too much punch actually for off-road riding, because every time you get on the throttle, there is just like, okay, I just want to go ahead because of the strong mid-range on offer. But around this, you see, it doesn't break a sweat. Just look at the road condition. Okay, it doesn't break a sweat. I can't feel any slip of traction at all because there's just so much grip on offer. I mean, the suspension does a great job, it does a fab job, and it just glides over the worst of roads. And that's what makes more sense now, because this Royal Enfield Trials certainly offers more composure over bad roads. And trust me, Indian roads have a lot of bad patches, and this, I would pick this up over the Bullet 500 if I'm buying a Bullet, because it just feels so much better off the road. And the price of this motorcycle is 2,07,000 ex showroom, which might be on the pricier side, but most people are going to opt for the 350, of course, which costs lesser. The 350 actually costs 1,62,000. So guys, this is my review of the Royal Enfield Trials, the 500, the Bullet 500 Trials Works Replica, long name. And if you like this video, you know what you have to do. Give it a thumbs up, that's a like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Bye bye. By the way, you can see this engine guard. Well, I think that's also part of optional kit. Meanwhile, I mean, the styling does look nice. Meanwhile, I have to show you another thing. Okay, this is a place to hold on to, although I think it's going to heat up a lot if you put a seat here. And I know many of you want me to turn on the motorcycle and rev it a bit, so here we go. What's up? How's the car? Really? Want to swap seats? Yes.